Welcome to the Call to Harmony, where we explore the inner journey to oneness with self, others, and the divine. Hello, everyone. We are back for another episode and also our final episode of the season, which is kind of wild. So, we're excited and sad that it's coming to an end, but also looking forward to what comes next. But we did just want to kind of take the time in today's episode to talk about some things that we've touched on in past episodes and also just what this process has been like for us to process through and practice harmony. And as both Tucker and I have been experiencing our own journeys. So we're excited to be here for one more time, at least for a little bit, and kind of walk through what we've been experiencing.
Yeah. Savannah, I just want to say thank you. This has been really cool to walk together through faith journeys, and you've been so willing to talk about your own story and be open about it and explore the fear. And you've been really personal and gracious and really amazing. So thanks for
Very
doing
kind
this.
of you. Thanks. Thanks for being my therapist. You do.
I don't have those credentials. So I'm
might as
happy
well.
to walk with you through your faith journey, but
Well, thank you.
super happy to do that. In fact, it feels like some of the most meaningful stuff we can do for each other is just be there when we're in our hard places, right? That feel so lonely and isolated. And we hope that that's been happening for people that have been listening to this podcast, that you've felt like, as we've talked about the melody phase and the dissonance phase and tasting harmony, that you've been able to feel like, oh yeah, I've tasted all of those and this is real and this journey is real and I can feel movement. But the movement is always accompanied by fear, right? Our nervous systems is like, no, we cannot move out of this safe zone.
Yeah.
So Savannah, as we've been through this season and we've been talking about things, I would love just to hear what stands out to you. What has been helpful in helping you along the path toward harmony?
Yeah. Honestly, I think, and not everybody has this, but maybe those listening, that is the ritual. But I think the set time to record this podcast, honestly, I know I joke that you're my therapist. You're not, I know. But like you're saying, I think having a safe space and a person to talk through and process and just discuss things of practicing harmony and that process and dissonance and all of the things that we've kind of covered, the difference between a faith and a spiritual journey and the way that those two things can exist at the same time, even though it doesn't feel like they can. I think just having a regular time and place to discuss these things, whether it was more specifically what was happening in my journey or stories from your journey, I think it just helped me actually take the time to sit and think about it, because I think I've shared in previous episodes that I maybe do some avoidance, and I, whether it's because I have a lot of other things going on in my life and I'm busy and I just don't feel like I can give the time to really sit down and process things and think it through. I think just the act of sitting in this space has been very helpful for me, getting comfortable with the discomfort and accepting the discomfort and just accepting that I'm on this journey. Because I think for a long time I didn't want to accept that I was on this journey and was trying to find a way out of this journey. But yeah, so I think just being here weekly has been helpful for me to find a way to continue and to not avoid or ignore what's been happening in my life.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's been vital for me too, along my journey, is to have, this has been really nice to have a regular scheduled
Yeah.
place to talk about it, and also to have safe people to talk about things. In the darkest part of my initial, growth and faith journey things, I found a few friends and we would go on walks in the morning and like early morning walks. And some people in my neighborhood would comment, like, what is this early morning men's walk club that you've got going, Tucker? What is happening? But these felt life saving to me.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of this intense furnace of things, and I would go on these walks and just let it out. This is where
Mm.
I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. This is what is happening. And the people that I would walk with, I walked with them because they were safe and
Yeah.
they had walked the path a little bit before. And I would come back from these walks just feeling so much more at peace.
Mm.
Even though I didn't get answers on my walks.
Yeah.
I was just heard and seen, and, it just felt life-saving. So,
Yeah.
shout out to my friends that walked with me, and to you, Savannah, that continue to walk with me, and to others that, I'll continue to talk with and walk with on this journey. And
Mm.
so if you're listening to this podcast and you don't have someone to talk with, to walk with, um, that's hard. That's super hard.
Yeah.
It feels very isolating and difficult, and it's one of the reasons why, we started doing some retreats. We've mentioned it once or twice on here, but we have a website called Harmony Road Retreats where we create safe spaces for people that are on faith journeys
Mm.
to talk through what they're going through and to get some friends that, they can be safe with. And even, yeah, our goal isn't to fix everything as we get together in those groups, but to create that experience that Savannah just described and that I just described of feeling like it's okay to be in dissonance.
Mm.
It's actually beautiful to be in dissonance. And this is an indication of growth, not um, tragedy, right? It doesn't have to be a tragedy. It feels like a tragedy, right?
Yeah.
But,
Or regression even, I think sometimes. I think sometimes you can
yeah,
feel like, "Oh, I'm going backwards. I'm not,
yeah,
like, feeling as faithful," or I'm not feel or whatever, whatever it might be. I think there's been times where I'm like, "I'm becoming less spiritual," or "I'm becoming less religious," or whatever it is, these things that I thought, "Oh, I need to become more and more of these things."
mhm,
And I think this faith journey has made me feel at times like I'm becoming less of those, but I think, like you're saying, it's kind of the opposite. It is really growth and it's progression and things that are positive and good and beautiful, but they
yeah,
don't always feel that way.
that's right. And we hope that as we've talked through these things, it's helped you feel a taste of harmony, and maybe that's a taste of what we feel after we talk through things. We're like, "Oh, I'm okay being where I'm at, and I can see that there's light on the horizon, and there's more to do, there's more work to do, there's more acceptance to do, there's more things to confront, more things to feel." But as we confront one little thing and feel it and then feel peace on the other side, we're like, "Oh, this is the work. This is
Mm,
how we move toward deeper and deeper harmony." And it's so beautiful. It's
yeah.
so beautiful to experience it and have it happen. In Savannah, it's been beautiful to, watch you experience that as we've talked through things,
Mm,
in episodes here. Are there any specific tools or techniques or things that we talked through that feel like, oh, I could sink my teeth into that. I could use that tool and it helped me forward. I won't put you on the spot to come up with that right off the top of your head, but I'll share one of mine. There was an episode called Chosen Teachers and Given Teachers. And that was that's been something really helpful for me on my journey. Because we all have these chosen teachers that we want to learn from, and then life gives us teachers that we don't wanna live from. And I'm not saying that they're all humans, but their experiences and circumstances and difficulties and tensions.
Mhm.
And for me, that's been really helpful when I feel something coming up inside that I don't wanna encounter, don't wanna confront, to just stop and say, "Ah, you're my teacher,
Mm.
and I'm here to learn." And instead of trying to ignore it anymore, just facing that discomfort, that tension, and welcoming it as a teacher, trusting that on the other side of this, confrontation or this feeling or this, not even a confrontation because that makes it sound like I'm not accepting it, but
Mm.
accepting it as a teacher,
Yeah.
there's something beautiful always on the other side of it. So that's
Yeah.
been really helpful for me. What,
Mm.
for you, Savannah, comes to mind as something that's been helpful on your journey?
Yeah, I think we have an episode on it is like doing the net practice actually has been a
Mm.
very helpful practice for me. Um, I'm not always doing it.
Yeah.
I think of it, but I don't always do it, but
Right.
the times where I do it, yeah, I think just, like, naming and, like, taking a second to really, like, come into my body and recognize what it is that I'm feeling, especially when it's something around, like, faith and this journey I've been on, because there is a lot of discomfort. Again, like I said, I maybe tend to wanna run away from it or avoid it or push it down or try and fix it and solve it immediately, but I think the net practice has been a beautiful thing that I've tried implementing more because it just I think for me, at least, it's all about just accepting what's going on inside and just noticing it and naming it and seeing how it shifts and changes in my body. Um, and also like looking at what my values are and trying to move closer to those as I'm experiencing the discomfort or the pain or the sadness or grief or whatever it might be. Um, so I think that has been a super helpful practice for me in this whole journey and that I hope to get even better at practicing more regularly.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes just, uh, a little like a dumb little acronym like NET, right? Is just something when that comfort or when that discomfort comes up, it's like, "Oh, it's a lifeline. There's something I know where to go now. I know
Yeah.
something to do."
Yeah.
And, yeah, whatever is working for people out there, and maybe the net practice doesn't work for whoever's listening, and there's something else that you can grab onto. We just say explore, find
Mm,
what helps you feel relief, direction, centering, rooting. And we've done different things on here. We've talked about the door of discomfort, looking at discomfort as a door rather than something to run from, right?
monster.
A monster, for sure. And sometimes it's hard to transform that monster into a door.
Mm,
Maybe you got to do the Monsters Inc. thing and see the fuzzy, see it as a furry Sully instead of something, but yeah, it's, oh, wow, they had doors in Monsters Inc. Anyway, that's an analogy we could dive into a little bit more some
next
other day.
season, stay tuned for the Monsters
Yes.
Inc. analogy.
But, yeah, the door of discomfort for me has been, kind of a transformational concept
Mm,
of starting to see discomfort as something to lean into rather than something to run from,
mm,
and that, to me, has changed my whole way of looking at life. Like, I wake up in the morning and I don't think, "How can I avoid discomfort?" As much as I used to. Still
yeah.
think that sometimes, and mostly subconsciously. But life becomes an adventure where it's like, "Oh, if discomfort comes up today, I know what to do."
Mm,
And it's probably hiding a gift behind it. It's probably leading me deeper into harmony. And so that's an exciting way to live. Like, and the more I remember that and practice it, the less fear has control over me.
Yeah.
and the more I encounter freedom and harmony in life. So,
Hmm.
yeah, discomfort, it's
Beautiful.
not the enemy, it's the gateway,
The gateway.
and I'm just gonna keep telling myself that. 'Cause my nervous system doesn't
It's the
really
gateway.
believe
It's
that
the
a lot.
gateway. It's not a monster.
I'm loving this. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Um, I'm curious if
anything
we
else for
can.
you?
Yeah, I just had the phrase and the thought coming into my mind of like, as we move on, as this season wraps up and comes to an end, in therapy, we talk a lot about this with clients, like just being curious. And that's the best way to get to know somebody is to be curious, not to come in with judgments or assumptions or trying to make meaning on our own, but to really be curious and to get their perspective, their experience, everything. And I just was thinking that about this journey for myself and for others is to like try and keep that phrase in my mind is like to be curious of these feelings that come up as your faith starts to look different or as your spiritual journey starts to take a turn or shift or whatever it might be. And I think that I was so quick and still am at times to make assumptions about what that means about me or where it's going to lead me or judgments about myself or what others might think about me. But I think just being curious about this journey and about this process and like we've been saying, like allow it and not to fight against it, which obviously is a lot easier said than done. And I don't think either of
Mm.
us are perfect at that and
Yeah.
might not ever be, but that's why we're practicing harmony all the time.
Mhm.
And yeah, just be curious about this journey. And this is maybe more advice for myself. But
Me too. I need it too.
to not fight against it or to not make all the assumptions or judgments or be, the harsh critics that we are to ourselves, but just being curious and noticing and just everything is information. Nothing is necessarily good or bad. It's just information that we can use to move forward on these journeys that I think are helping us become more loving, compassionate, kind people. And I think hopefully that's what everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
Or whatever else you want to be. That's great too. But that's what I want. I hope to
It's
be
so
more
inclusive.
compassionate and understanding and kind. And I think that when I am coming in with a curious mindset, I can feel that compassion and that understanding towards myself a lot easier than when I'm coming in with judgments and, criticisms. So,
Yeah. So, can I ask you to describe how you do that? Like, how do you become curious when the hard, difficult emotions are coming up, when the fear's coming up, when you feel like something in you is dying? How do you move into being curious?
yeah.
I'm curious.
Uh, hey, that's a good
Just
question.
practicing. Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think a net practice could be helpful with that because you just start to explore what's going on in your body. You're trying to name an emotion, which again, maybe that's not as curious, but I think that that's part of it. But I also think that a way to be curious is to I don't know, I'm starting to think about parts. We've talked about parts. I don't know how many episodes ago it was, but just trying to like understand like, "Oh, why would I be feeling this way? Or where might this be coming from? Or what part of me like is this feeling or this thought or this worry or whatever it might be, like where is it stemming from?" And coming from a place of trying to understand that rather than, "Why are you here? Why am I feeling this way? You shouldn't be feeling this way." Because I think that's typically my knee-jerk reaction. So to come at it and be like, "Oh, where are you coming from? Why are you here?" in a much more gentle approach rather than a, "No, I don't like you." Like, "You are not good. I'm not. Like, I don't want you. Go away." But the curiosity, I think, comes from a gentle, like, "Oh, I'm noticing that there's some anxiety here. Like, why might I be feeling anxious?" And I think like I don't know if we've talked about wise mind in here before. Maybe I brought that up in an episode too, but I think the wisdom in us, the self in us, the whatever it might be, I think will come into play and be like, oh yeah, Savannah, actually remember this thing happened or you had this experience or there's this part of you that was scared or hurt at one point or whatever it might be, right? And I think that comes into play the second we soften and slow down, be curious instead of attack and try to push away whatever it is that we might be experiencing. So I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, well said. There, as you were describing it, something that a practice that I do sometimes that helps me find a little bit more curiosity in myself that I need to keep practicing is just disidentifying really simply. Like, I'll say to myself inwardly, I am not this feeling. I feel a feeling coming up, and I am not this feeling. I notice some thoughts ruminating, recurring, and I am not these thoughts. And I feel the sensation in my body, and I am not the sensation.
Hmm.
And I feel a story that my mind's telling, and I am not this story. I am the watcher of my thoughts. I am the one that is experiencing or receiving information through the feelings. I am that. And you described wise mind. What happens is once we're able to be an observer rather than um, captive to the feelings and thoughts and emotions,
Yeah.
there is a wisdom that naturally comes.
Mhm.
This wisdom to me is something that rises up from beyond our natural human mind.
Yeah.
It's a grace. It feels like it's
Mm.
uh, th- a divine birthright that we all have access to at
Yeah.
any given time, but we don't realize it because we're usually caught inside the thoughts, emotions, and things. And so wisdom, it's so wild. All we have to do is kind of pause and turn toward it and be like, hey, wise mind, what do you have to say to me in this moment? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, this wisdom can be like, oh, Tucker, thank you for asking. It's like,
I've been here the
where
whole
have you been?
time.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time. What?
You're like,
Yeah.
why haven't you been louder?
Yeah.
Wisdom is quiet. Wisdom
That's right.
waits to be asked and called upon.
Exactly. Wisdom does wait to ask or wait to be asked. Yeah.
Mm.
So, and for me along my own journey, that's been a really beautiful thing to discover that there's wisdom here now in me.
Mm.
If I pause, maybe take a breath, look inside, what's going on, and just ask, um, what's here right now? And what is maybe something that I can learn from this teacher, this experience that's come to teach me?
Mm.
And wisdom always arises, and there's always help. There is always help. And I hope that everybody listening feels that there's always help available,
Yeah.
and it's right here with us. And call it God, the divine, the universe, your true self, your wise mind. Probably the names don't matter, and probably the source of this wisdom doesn't have an ego that gets offended
Mm.
by us calling it other than something other than its name.
Yeah.
And so we can just trust that it's there. Um, it's it's available. It's compassionate. It's coming from a place of love, and that sees us in our mess, in our panic, in our fear, and wants to be there for us and minister to us.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So I wonder if we wrap up this episode of this season, Savannah, practicing that.
Yeah. Let's do it.
And we have some options here. Like, you could lead us in the practice of accessing our wise mind, or I could try. What are you feeling?
You're
Or
the
we could
pro.
both do it.
You're the pro. You do it.
Bro.
Your voice is so calm and soothing. The
Well,
listeners are dying for another practice led by Tucker.
okay. This is not true. I do not feel the truth of this resonating in my soul. And you are the one with the voice, like, okay, we all think that everybody else's voice is better than ours, and in my case, it's true, but
There's wisdom.
yeah, I will be happy to lead us in a little practice, and then
Great.
you can add your wisdom at the end.
Sure. That sounds
Okay.
good.
All right, everybody, let's take some time to slow down and access that wise voice that is always there, always ready to guide us, always ready to assure us and accompany us in our journey. And so, if you're in a place or space where you can close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes so that we can turn off my alarm.
Time to wake up.
Yep. So, if you're in a place or situation where you can close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. And like we do on this podcast, just give ourselves some time to check in, see where we are on our journey, on our spiritual journey, our faith journey, and see where we are in this moment. Just notice and name what feelings are right here, right now in your body. And notice where they're arising in your body. You can just say, I have a little nervousness in the stomach or fear that I'm feeling in my shoulders or wherever it is arising. Give it a name and a position. And then after you name it, just welcome it as being a teacher that's here to help you move deeper toward harmony. And know that as you accept it, that is more than half the battle toward moving toward peace and harmony and wisdom. And maybe we'll use a couple of questions to just find where we are on our journeys right now. Just ask yourself, what have I been worried about, concerned about, struggling with lately on my journey? And as the response comes, you might even notice some new feelings arise with that. Notice and name those too. Welcome those too. And let's simply turn to wisdom, to our wise mind, to our true self, to God, to the divine, however you want to name it, and ask, what wisdom do you have for me now at this point in my journey? What do you think I need to hear at this point of my path? And we'll just pause for a significant amount of time to just listen. And if the thoughts and the feelings feel like they want to pull you back in to the worries, the concerns, That's okay. Just notice and name them again. Recognize them. They're trying to protect you. And turn back to that source of wisdom and ask, what do I need right now? What do you feel I need to hear, to know? And as a message comes, allow yourself not to just hear it, but to feel it, to experience it, to embody the message that comes from wisdom. Allow it to create harmony inside you. And it can coexist with the other feelings, the thoughts that arise. All of them are welcome to be part of our experience and to teach us. And as these messages come, as if peace comes or harmony comes or a softening comes, it might help to just thank that voice, thank that wisdom, thank the divine for being here, always present, ready, and big enough to hold whatever it is that needs to be held, whatever is arising, whatever our experience is. And maybe send and emanate that gratitude out from your heart to the divine. And you might even feel gratitude reflected back to you. Because the call to harmony is real. We're all being called into deeper harmony. And when we respond and move deeper into our journey, it seems that wherever that call is coming from meets us and is grateful that we're listening. If you'd like to sit in this space longer, you can go ahead and pause, but we'll wrap up this practice. And just notice where you're at right now. Wherever you're at, whatever happened during this practice is completely okay. If it was hard to hear wise mind, hard to open up to the message, that's okay. That's a message in itself. That it's okay to be exactly where you're at. And just giving time to the journey, giving time to the experience is so important so that it's not pushed into the background, as it's one of the main reasons why we're here is to move and to grow and to deepen. But thanks for doing that practice with us. And Savannah, add your wisdom.
My wisdom is so nice. I just feel like I felt like there was, whether it was like people jumping in a crowd and then someone comes onto stage and everyone kind of calmed down, or like I thought of like kids in a classroom like raising their hands and jumping everywhere, and that was like some anxiety or some worry or just more kind of chaotic energy that was coming up of like this pressure and this need to figure things out. I think there's a big part of me that is a fixer and likes to have things be resolved, and I've felt very unresolved for a long time as I've been on this journey, and wisdom just came in and was like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to give like, you don't have much time to give right now to figure things out. Also, even if you did have all the time in the world to give, you probably still won't figure it out. So, and in a very nice, gentle way, not a like, you dummy, like you're not gonna figure this out. But it was just like, hey, even if you did have what you think that you need, which is time, this process is still going to just evolve and do its own thing. And so there's not like we can't control it, but we can be a part of it and we can experience it and we can accept it and let it do what it will do and trust that, like, my wisdom was just saying, hey, we can all trust that, like, we will get to where we need to go, but like we aren't going to be the ones in control, which is so hard for me. Like,
Mm.
my natural self, my anxious self would never, ever say that. And that's, I think, what's cool about doing a practice like this is because I'm like, oh, that is wisdom. Because
Mhm.
the other parts of me, if I am living in the emotion and in the thoughts, that thought is not going to come where it's like, it's okay, we're not going to be in control, but it'll be okay. So that was a beautiful practice for me. I think again, always in the back of my head think, oh, when you're done with school, when you're done with your master's, when you're done with your clinicals, when you're done with X, Y, or Z, like you'll have time to like think this through. And I'm like, what, am I going to sit down for a day and figure it out? Like, I don't think that's quite what's going to happen. And so I'm grateful that wisdom came in and said, hey, even if you had your, exactly what you think that you need, it still probably won't actually give you the answers and like what you're expecting to get, which I think is helpful because otherwise I'm going to be waiting till I'm done with school, hoping to figure it out. And then I'll just be disappointed again because I'm not going to figure it out. But wisdom was sweet in reminding me that we don't have to be in control and it's actually better that way, and that I can trust myself and all the things that exist inside of me to navigate things as they come up and to take the time to practice harmony when I can, and that we'll get to where we need to go eventually.
Mm.
So, love wisdom.
Wisdom. Your wisdom is so wise, Savannah.
She was so nice to me. Yeah. I love her.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It resonates with me personally, and I'm sure it resonates with the listeners. The trust that I feel coming from you
Mm,
as you listen to wisdom, that it's like, hey, there's something bigger here than your brain can grasp or figure out,
yeah.
and that my brain can grasp or figure out, but
Mhm.
that can be absolutely trusted to always be with us
Yeah.
through everything. And we can rest in that. We can rest in the peace of we will never encounter anything where wisdom won't be there to guide us, to be with us.
Yeah.
And that helps me taste some harmony,
Mm,
to sit with that. So we hope, everyone, that you've been able to feel some taste of harmony this season. And if not, stay with it.
yeah.
And it's all part of the journey. This melody, dissonance, the harmony, all of it is part of why we're here. I've said this before, but this life isn't very well arranged for comfort, right? We can keep grasping for it. We can keep buying our fuzzy blankets and this is not against fuzzy blankets, but we can keep trying to get comfort by amassing things on the outside of us to get us comfortable or getting our circumstances just perfect.
Mm,
But real harmony comes when we turn inside, we step back, we access wisdom,
mm,
we access the divine, we reach out to something that's far bigger than us, that sees what we can't see, and we trust.
yeah.
And so I trust that everybody listening to this is on the good journey, and that wisdom's got us all, that the
Mm,
divine's got us all, that God's got us all. And as we keep trusting, we'll be carried toward the source of the call to harmony, and we'll be able to find harmony um, that it's worth every pain, every discomfort to find what's on the other side.
yeah.
So Anything to add as we wrap up this season, Savannah?
Thanks for those of you who listened all season or even for one episode. We're glad that you're with us and hope that, like Tucker said, you're not alone if you've felt that or feel that currently, that you aren't alone and there are people on this journey and everyone's journey is different, but we are here for you and good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, reach out to us if
Yeah.
there's anything we can do to be here for you. If you need that friend, if you need the ear to listen,
Mm.
we want to walk with you. So
Yep.
thanks for walking with us,
Yep.
and
We'll
we'll
see
see
ya.
you next time.
Bye. Thank you for listening, and we hope you will join us next time on The Call to Harmony.